Hey, welcome back to Politics for the Culture. I'm your host, Dwight Bullard. Again, I'm on my Wakanda-ish until we get back to Wakanda in November, on November 11th. I'm on my purple and the lapel pin. Shout out to T'Challa, may he rest in peace. And supporting all the things that are Black Panther. Because again, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, I'm a blurred, aka Black nerd. Get used to it. It's a term. We're coming, and Wakanda is our destination. So once again, Politics for the Culture aims to bring politics to you for us and by us. But we're not having your atypical conversation. We're going to have a multitude of different conversations about politics in every facet, every lane, every aspect. And so I'm fortunate today to have somebody who has been influencing the culture for quite a number of years as one of the premier party hosts, premier culture curators, not only in Miami, but across the country. None other than Mr. Michael Gardner, who is the CEO of Headliner Marketing Group, one of the dynamic forces of nature here in the entertainment and hospitality industry here in Miami. Mike, good to see you, bro.
Good to see you too, Dwight. Man, I apologize for being late. Appreciate you.
No, listen. We are a people culturally who like to take our time and ease into things. So welcome to Politics for the Culture, and thank you for being here, Mike. So the reason I wanted to, of course, have you on the show was not only because of your level of influence and the ability to, move the crowd as you've been able to do for years, but what really intrigued me was, when the pandemic happens in March of 2020, the world shut down. Your industry is impacted by the pandemic, of course, but right around that same time, we see the murder of George Floyd happen in the summer of 2020. And what I saw was this interesting shift on your social media where you really felt inclined to really kind of engage your followers around why they need to take this moment to understand why it's bigger than just the parties, it's bigger than just the songs. Can you tell folks why you chose to kind of go on this interesting journey and shift to put yourself out there more and kind of speak your mind on things related to community and politics?
Well, I think it goes a little hand in hand, and then it's also sort of how you're brought up. Like, and when I say hand in hand, meaning like I do events and parties and things like that where I need the support of the people. Like the people don't need me, I need the people. So I've always, been thankful and appreciative of the support that the people gave me over these 20 years that I've been doing these events. So I had to take a step back and always consider what can I do for the people, because the people have been so in support of me and Headliner and the movement that I have over these years. So when the pandemic happened, and simultaneously with the George Floyd, I don't want to call them riots, but just the whole uproar of the George Floyd thing. That wasn't anything new, and it wasn't anything new to me. I think as I went back and looked, and a lot of things I posted, I've always posted things about awareness. It was just that it wasn't to the magnitude that it affected people when there were no parties. So all you got was the personal side of me. So I didn't have any parties to kind of distract you or deflect your attention. So all of my focus was what is really dear to my heart, which is our people. And so when I was using my platform to kind of create the dialogue and create awareness of these injustices that we as a people have still been facing, I think it caught a lot of people off guard. But those who know me, they've always known that it was in me. It's just those who all they knew was Michael Gardner, Headliner Market Group, as the party promotions company. And when I started going toward I won't call it activism or nothing like that, but what I will say, call it awareness. When I started to go more toward the lane of awareness and speaking up, for the things that affected me as a black man and having a black child, I got a raise a young black son in this world, it was something that was dear to me. And I had no parties really to distract me. So therefore it was what you saw from me then is really who I am now. It's just the parties kind of like is a distraction for people. So it was like second nature, to be honest, Dwight. It wasn't something that I was trying to do because of the moment. It was something that's always been in my heart and dear to me. It's just that I think people just didn't pay attention as much because they were so, consumed with entertainment and all the things that I was posting up until that point.
I love it. I love it. And I think people need to really understand that that's a reflection of who you are as a person, and that the parties are the job, right? But
Right.
you still have to live your life, raise your son, provide for your family, and keep people safe. And so that's an important kind of takeaway from that. I know during the pandemic, especially, a lot of attention was paid to the event you did with Diddy,
Hmm.
providing resources, direct resources for the community. Could you talk a little bit about how that came about? How this person, was it you reaching out to him reaching out to you? What and talk a little bit about that collaboration and providing resources directly to the community there in Overtown, Miami.
I mean, we're headliner. We have an invested interest into the Overtown community as is. With the Overtown Music and Arts Festival that we do, and then we do a once a month pampering with a purpose. We do periodically we do a lunch and learn, and then we were actually doing once a month or every 2 months the Black Male Youth Summit. So we've always had that investment into the community. With Puff, it was one of those things that I think he actually reached out to me in regards to this particular event. He knew my um, commitment to the Overtown community because every year at the festival, I try to get him out there. Uh, for whatever reason, schedule conflicts, he just hasn't been able to make it. And so he kind of reached out to me for this one. And he said, listen, man, I wanna get more involved and I want to be hands on. I don't want to, filter it through his charity. And he said, I want to be in the midst. I want to come into the community. I want the people to see me, and I want to touch the people. And so we started to kind of come up with the ideas of how we could assist people during the holidays. And I didn't want to make it like the traditional giving kids bikes and things of that nature, because at that time back in 2020, we were still heavy in the pandemic. Yeah, you want to give people opportunity to take their mind off of things with the giveaways, but he wanted to really, really, you know, do something different. And so he was committed to paying, a limit. Well, I ain't gonna say a limit, but he was committed to paying the rent for uh, a lot of the people in the community of Overtown. And then when he said it, I was like, man, hey Puff, hold on now, you you ain't great put that on us to kind of back that statement up. But what it was, we've had a lot of people sign up that we would pay their rent for a month to relieve some of the pressure of the pandemic on them. And then we also uh, got a lot of goods from Publix, from Dixie, um, and all the essential needs to kind of relieve some of the people of a lot of things that was going on at the time. Now, when he got there, it turned into something totally different, and I think it was just a testament of his good nature and of his heart. He just started to, after we had done the thing with the rent and because there was a procedure you had to go through to, but you had to be a resident of the Overtown community. Um, and then you also had to show that you were actually paying your rent, so it wasn't just a free for all. So there was a process that you had to go through to get your rent paid. But when he got there, it turned into something totally different. There was so many people out there, man. It was amazing. And so what he started to do was he felt like he wanted to just really touch the people, and he just started passing out money. He started passing out $100 bills to everybody, and that of course created so much chaos. It caught so much attention. It was very, very newsworthy. It was on all the media outlets, but it was a testament to not only his support of Headliner, but also, his support of of the community. No, he's not from the Overtown community, but it's something that what we represent as Headliner, and it was amazing. And we set out that we would not let that one time be the only time, but that was a one time that I think has stuck in people's mind because he actually came out there and he was really touching the people, and the people got to see Puff Daddy live and in person. So I mean, it was something with my relationship with him over these years doing parties, and I put a lot of money in his pocket. So I think it was just a way of him giving back as well, because it was something that caught me off guard.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. And so, much like that event, we've seen, industry folks, folks in the, in the movement, in the hospitality and entertainment movement, like you, kind of in these spaces to give back. And I know, this goes, entertainers being part of the movement goes back to Harry Belafonte and James Brown and so many others. So it's not as though this is a new thing, but oftentimes when they talk about hip hop and rappers in particular, a lot of it is focused on, unfortunately, the gun violence or the hypersexuality and some of those things. But we've seen, the Jay-Z's and the Meek Mills and the Diddy's, and even recently Kodak Black paying off the rent of folks, who are in need. And so I would love to hear like how you feel like seeing and knowing that you're kind of like a part of this new age kind of commitment to community. And do you have a message for folks who may be reluctant to lean in a little bit more like you have around kind of like this social message, social justice sentiment? So kind of twofold, what's it like to be a part of like this historical legacy of giving back in entertainment? And then the second part of that being, do you have a message for, some of these other folks who just aren't, maybe not stepping up as much as they could?
Okay. For me, it's second nature, and I don't want this to sound cliche-ish or anything of that nature, but I know that I've been blessed, so I take those blessings to bless others, and I don't take it for granted, because like I said earlier, like I do parties, man, I do events where I need the people. Like the people don't need me, so I'm very thankful and grateful for the support of the people, because I'm not selling gasoline, or I'm not selling power or anything like that. I'm selling a good time. And some people, you can have a good time at your home. So I'm very thankful for the people that support me. So it's to be a part of something like this, like you said, this wave, it means a lot, because especially as I'm getting older and understanding life and putting things in perspective, it's a no-brainer for me to do this and to be a part of it, and try to learn as I go as well, because we have this stigma on our people, that I want to try to help erase. We have the stigma of not being able to stick together. We have the stigma of not supporting each other. And, even when I do the Overtown Music and Arts Festival in Overtown, it's a free event. It's for the community. And we're not getting like, some local acts. We're actually getting Grammy nominated artists, and we never get any kind of publicity for that. Now, let a shooting or let an incident happen, news media be all over town, you know, and even some of our people, you know, are still afraid to come to Overtown. So, you know, you have that stigma that we still got to fight, you know, as far as, you know, coming into Overtown or really shedding light and investing some of your time into our people. It's a tough thing, but, you know, when you have been blessed by God, it's only natural that you pass those blessings on. Second fold of that question, when you said the message that I would give to those who may be reluctant to use their platform or may be reluctant to say certain things. I mean, I'm just gonna say to each his own. You know, just like with everything, man, everything is not for everybody. You know, some people choose to do what they do. I'm not here to knock them. I'm not here to pass judgment. Um, I can just use my platform and hope that they see the value in it, because when you really see the value in your post or the things that you actually do and you can feel it, trust me, I don't care who you are. If you're a human being, you're gonna feel it when you are able to see the smile that you can put on a kid's face, or if you can see the joy that you can put on a family because you did something that really was kind of minute to you, but it meant the world to them. And for me, like that's where I'm at with it at this point of my life, especially, you know, when my son was born. He's 10 years old now. Like, I've been able to see the growth and development of it, and just to see the value in our youth. It's a no brainer for me, man. Like, I'm gonna do it whenever I can, however I can, without a second thought.
Understood, understood. So, you know, there's been a heavy conversation, but an important one to have, because I think people, I think, are going to walk away from this episode really appreciating, you know, the other side of Mike Gardner. But we also like to be a little playful on politics for the culture and talk a little bit about the culture. Kind of have two questions for Mike Gardner, right? One that's been lingering in my mind for a while, so I'm curious what your answer is. The first question is, you know, you're around celebrities all the time. You got folks coming, you know, you've done All-Star Weekend. You got all these folks that either in your phone or in your email contact list that you could reach out to at any given point. So I'm curious, is there someone on your celebrity bucket list that you have not had a chance to meet yet, or that you've met and you're still kind of like in awe of the fact that you've had a chance to meet them? And it can be a both and too.
It's been one person, and it's kind of, well, it's been one person that I met him, but I'm still like, and that's Michael Jordan. That's it.
The GOAT. I get it.
It's MJ for me, like, because I grew up wanting to be a ball player, so he's always been that person that I looked up to. And, you know, once I made the transition from athletics to entertainment, you know, everyone that's around me know that Jay-Z is one of my favorites. Sometimes I think I'm Jay, but it's Michael Jordan though. Like, he's the one that really, really get me, and I'll be like, okay, Mike. But it's that's it. Other than that, man, I look at, you know, I have established a lot of great relationships with a lot of celebrities over the years, man. And one thing I've learned, man, they people just like us, man. They just got a little bit more money, and they may have a little bit more notoriety and you know, public appearances, shall I say. But they humans just like us, man. Like, in some of these relationships that I've got with a lot of these celebrities, man, is they've extended over the years. So they've been intimate friendships, you know. So I've seen some of the sides of some of your favorite rappers, actors, whatever, whatnot, that they're human. And I can vouch for it. They human, because they have emotions just like us. They go through things. So that's about it. But to answer your question, is Michael Jordan.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, and question number 2, and I think I might know the answer to this one only because, shout out to the doo-wop for just being, as you put it, the party is not for everybody, but everybody is welcome.
Yes, sir.
So we're both R&B heads, but at our hearts. But I'm curious, like, you're around, kind of these parties, these lifestyle spaces. As you pointed out, you need the people more, in order to help them have a good time. But how does Mike Gardner have a good time? Like, what is a vibe for Mike Gardner, who's so used to providing a vibe for everybody else?
Hey, man, you said you know the answer to this question? Because I don't.
Well, no, I've seen you have a good time at the doo-wop, so that's the reason I said that.
Yeah. I mean, I promise you, Dwight, man, I don't even want to make it sound like it's a scripted answer, man, but I just like peace, man. Like, it's not hard to please me. Like, being at home, quiet, downtime is cool with me. To be honest, like, I'm just not the typical party promoter where it's got to be a certain type of thing that makes me go. Like, my time sometimes it's just peace, being at home with the family. But in the realm of what I do, you're right. Right now it's the doo-wop. Like, I love the doo-wop, man. Like, it's something about that R&B music and I've been so accustomed to doing these hip hop parties and this turn up. But this whole year since I started doing, now I was once upon a time doing an R&B party before it grasped, but it wasn't like the doo-wop. This doo-wop, man, for this whole year that we've been doing it, man, has really it gives me something to look forward to, man. I look forward to the doo-wop. I look forward to just having a good time, seeing people have a good time, people looking forward to it. Like, so that's right now, the doo-wop is how I have my good time, man.
Oh, indeed. And if you don't know, I have a good time at the doo-wop as well, Mike.
Man, you come there early, you get your space, and hey, man,
I park myself, no doubt, man. But Mike, I appreciate you coming on Politics for the Culture and really kind of sharing with folks that you're not some one-dimensional person who just promotes parties. That you, as you said about other celebrities, you are a real person going through real things and definitely wanting to throw down for your community. So thank you so much for coming on to Politics for the Culture, and we're happy to consider you a friend of the show. So appreciate you giving up your time today, my brother.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it. Anytime, Dwight. Anytime.
No doubt. Mike Gardner, Headliner Marketing Group, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.